The most amazing data I ever seen from the missiles in game. Hello guys, once again it's Matt. Thank you all the members and patrons. Make sure to subscribe. And I just ran into this post made by apparently Javelius, which I think has a channel as well. I will leave the links in the description because this is an amazing data for you to actually take a look on the missiles. As you know, the patch actually got added to yesterday. One patch, a little update that changed completely the drag and missiles and loft and some other things. And he just completely analyzed everything energy-wise of the missiles in many altitudes and many instances. So let's take a look. This is really, really amazing. And thank you, Javelius, for actually doing this. We're going to start. Of course, remember, the loft got increased in all of these missiles. He even mentioned over here 20 plus degrees in many, many missiles. Only the Mika, it's still 5, which I don't really get it why, but maybe there's a reason why. But yeah, I mean, look at this. This is the main graph that I wanted to show to you guys. And again, go to his channel, subscribe to his channel. I'll leave everything in the description because he actually explained it there as well, how the changes are, but he's Russian, right? So you need to use subtitles. But still, it is an amazing, amazing graph to actually look into. We start with the M120 as an example. As you know, the drag got decreased, right? And you can see the blue over here. You can see the normal. It's the original variant of the M120. And the dotted line is the new M120. And look at the amount of drag. I mean, up to the burn, it's pretty much the same. And then the energy, or basically the speed over here, will be decreased depending on range or speed, right? Or time, sorry. So it's basically going there. But look at the new one. The new one just goes right there, guys. Old one, new one. Look at this. This is almost like 500 meters per second of a boost in the energy without changing the amount of burn time. It's just changing the amount of drag that this missile has. So, and the loft, of course. This means that these missiles will hit a lot more in the range. They decrease the drag, and you can see this on the R77, for example, which is this one, if I'm not mistaken. So here, the end of the burn, as you see, and you can see right there where it is, and right there where it was before. Look at the difference on this. I mean, at 30, over here, we can have like what, 1,000 something of a difference of meters per second of the amount of drag that the missile has less. It's incredible. The missiles are way, way better. Even the AM4, look at the AM4. It doesn't have a lot of energy at the early stages, but look at the difference, like right here and right here. I mean, it's big, 500 plus meters per second of difference. Look at the PL-12. At the end of the day, it kind of almost became one of the best missiles at longer ranges with the energy that he has at the end of the life, right? I mean, look at this. It's more than it's like around 1,000, a little bit less, meters per second. The darter, every single missile, I mean, look at the difference in the darter, man. Look at this. It almost became one of the best missiles, look at it's this line and this line. And look at the difference in here. It's more than 1,200 meters per second more. And then even the Mika that didn't get like too many changes still has a lot more energy. This is due to two things, okay? The first one is the decrease in drag, but the second one is the loft capability of these missiles as well that was reintroduced in a better way, okay? So he just goes in depth. Look at how many information you can get from these missiles right here. So the missiles are way, way better right now than they were in energy-wise. Of course, there are other changes. Like I said, there were some missiles that got an increase in weight, like the darter, if I'm not mistaken. The M120 has less AOA on the fins, so it has some problems with that. Here we can see some difference as well, which is pretty interesting to see. Basically, the difference in acceleration, basically the dynamic of the speed change, okay? You can clearly see that the missiles are basically losing less energy over time, basically, right? So you will see, for example, let me find the PL-12, I think it is, yeah. The PL-12 here, you can see that here's the amount of energy that it's losing, right? Here was the old, and here's the new one. So it's losing less speed than it was before, meaning that it can carry more energy throughout the whole flight path. This is for all missiles basically because they decreased the amount of drag of the missile. These together, like I said, together with the amount of loft the missiles have right now, it means that the missiles are just way, way better. He goes into depth over here, not gonna, just read up out of his work, right? Just take a look and you can analyze. I will leave the links in the description again. But there's so many information that he put it here. He even put it like a top missile kind of ranking over here at 0 to 20 kilometers, the Dart or Derby, PL-12, and like that, and more than, this is not more, I think he meant like more than 20 kilometers, AM-120, AM-4, PL-12, and stuff. And you can see a clear kind of thing over here, because the R-77 is a missile that can turn better than the AM-120, for example, a lot better, and than more than most of these missiles, apart from the Mika. But you can see that in the longer distances, they are the worst. Why is that? Well, that's the thing. Even though they turn a lot and they have a lot of energy, that's the thing. If you turn a lot, if you try to do stuff like that, you will lose a lot of range. And R-77s especially, they are, famous for not having a lot of energy in the longer ranges because they are made to be more of a dogfighting missile. Not that dogfighting missile, they are a BVR missile, but you know what I mean, right? More than the M120 at least. Different technologies. Here is a very interesting comparison that there's nothing to do with the changes that they did yesterday, but just comparing in altitude the differences between the 10,000 meter shot and the 250 meter shot. You can clearly see the difference in speed that the missiles have, meaning that, for example, this is around Mach 1 over here. You can clearly see, like, when the missile becomes subsonic, it barely has any energy to stay alive, okay? To stay flying, barely. Any turn will make the missile miss. And you can clearly see that most missiles cannot pass above 12 to 18 kilometers over here. Of course, they can, if the target really doesn't do anything. But just for you to understand, when you are flying low, don't fire these missiles at around 15 kilometers or more, okay? And you can clearly see that above that, I mean, it's just a showing on the difference of speed that the missile has between the altitudes, so just have that in mind if you want to be effective. Have a rule in your head. If you're going to fire at below 2,000 meters or something like that of altitude, try to fire at around 10 kilometers. Then you will have a chance of actually hitting the target. It depends on situations, but still. Then he goes on, he does all these graphs, like comparing every single missile in many, many occasions, even at 250 meters, as you see over here. You can compare the missiles from each other at 250 meters, which is pretty good. It really, really is pretty good. This is the dynamic speed change at these altitudes. You can see that the graph just goes really, really below what it was from the old one, so max here, it loses 300 meters per second. Now it's losing like 700 or something. Where is it? Yeah, depending on the missile, right? So you can see that at 250 meters, it is losing obviously a lot more energy there. You have an interesting graph over here in time and altitude. You can see it right here, for example, the changes as well. For example, you can take the PL-12 over here, which is an easy missile to look at. Basically, this is distant over time, and you can see that it takes a lot less time to get to those distances. So, for example, the PL-12 is here and here, right? So at 34 kilometers, you can see that it takes around, 3 to 4 seconds less than it took before to get to that distance, which means that the missiles are faster as well. So it's another way of looking into this. Very cool. Here we have another graphs depending on missile with the before and after, the nerf buff, whatever you want to call it, between the missiles. So for example, here at 250 meters, right? So here we have the old missile, and here we have the new missile, which means that, for example, at 14 kilometers, the missile had 1,500 meters per second of speed, right? Now we can actually maintain that up to 16, so it's a hefty increase here in the amount of energy that the missile has. In the R-77, you can see it right there, like 11 kilometers. It was the same as 13 or something, or 12. The Mika, you can go through every single one of them, which is pretty interesting. Here you can see another thing that's pretty interesting. Look how it's different while it's burning. Why is that? Well, this is the difference in the engine of the AM4, right? So for example here, you can see that it had a constant acceleration of the AM4, and then it just stops burning, and then it will lose energy. While the AM4 right now, it has a burner that it is a lot stronger than before, so it gets to those speeds a lot quicker in time over here. But then it has a sustainer that maintains the energy, and at the end of the day, it is pretty much the same. It means that between like 0 and like 3 seconds, the AM4 right now is better, and between the 3 and 5 seconds, it is worse than it was. It doesn't mean much because 4 to 5 seconds is a very short range, but it is an interesting look in the difference of the engine with just a booster and sustainer being a little bit different, okay? The Darter, big change over here, maintains a lot more speed. I mean, it gained basically 4 seconds of energy over here in the decreased drag. So you can see the low altitude missile rating over here. I still wouldn't put the AM-120 and the AM-4 at top because they do turn last in all the other missiles. It's not only energy that it's important here, in my opinion, but of course here it's his post, right? So yeah, amazing. Thank you, man, for actually doing this. If you are looking in this video, it's just so amazing that somebody is doing this, that I had to do a video about this. This is so cool, man. It really, really is. So thank you so much. Remember, guys, I will leave the links in the description. Go in his channel and watch from his own view. I just had to spread this around because I just found it very, very cool to see this type of graph that we can actually take a look on the actual changes that Gaijin is doing. And Gaijin, if you are looking at this, I know sometimes you are, think about doing this type of thing. A post as a devlog about this type of thing. I know it takes a lot of time, but people will understand a lot more of the game and a lot more of the gameplay and the missiles and everything that you want to actually play and how you want to play. So think about it. Thank you again for doing this, and yeah, go in his channel. Okay, see ya, guys. Bye. Subscribe.